Hey, what's up? Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we're going to do another look at currently in development Glory College football. I'm going to talk about a couple of tweaks I have made to the game and also introduce a new attribute, which is individual runner adjustments. So in this game, New Mexico, who in our last test stream actually where we played a full game, upset Army. They're feeling their oats, so they are going to take on the Crimson Tide and see how they fare against the #1 team in the country and the reigning national champions. I have a feeling it will not be quite as good as they did against Army, but that's why you play the game. All right, so before we get started, I want to talk about the individual running back adjustments. So 0 on the run columns here is basically what the average run result would be for the particular team. So the way the adjustment comes into play is each runner here is rated either no rating, which is just the slash, or they have a positive or negative number. And what these numbers mean is that when an average team result comes up where you get the result out of the 0 column, if that runner based on the 1D20 has another number there, in the case of Najee Harris, he has a +1. So instead of taking the result from this column, you would always take it from the 1 column. And again, that only comes into play when you roll a team average result, and all that does is show that Najee Harris is better than the average of the team. Other results, because there is a programmed in disparity in results in the game, they will go off the columns that you roll, and there'll be no adjustment there. Again, it's only on the 0 column. Mac Jones is another example. He is not a very gifted runner. So anytime Jones comes up as the ball carrier and it's going to be in the 0 column, you would get the result on the 1D10 off the -3 column instead. So that's how that works. Pretty simple. And again, only affects a small part of the game. Some other tweaks in this build is I've added a little bit more disparity to the distribution of yards in the running column, and also added additional big plays in the passing grids as well, and reallocated yardage there. So let me talk about the run reallocation first of all. Just in testing so far, defense was not having quite the impact that I wanted on the run game. And so that's really the whole impetus behind that, is if you're a great running team playing against a poor run defense, I expect you to be rolling results up here. Your yards per carry will skyrocket. Conversely, if you're a mediocre run team, and an example of that, a team we actually haven't played yet, but will upcoming, Northwestern, they are a lean run team, almost a favor run team in the amount of times they run the ball, but statistically, they're not exceptional at it. They only average 3.74 yards per game as a team. So that can come in to play in 2 different areas. If they're playing a good run defense like Clemson has, they're going to have problem moving the ball on the ground, whereas they'll do a little bit better against a team like New Mexico. So that is the run adjustments. And also I made a couple of tweaks to the drive chart, redistributed the plays on the number of drives to better fit the situational chart here when you jump by play mode. Won't go into too much detail on that, as it was really not a drastic change, but a change nonetheless. And then finally, and this isn't the final score sheet, it's basically the prototype I'm playing with now. When we get to a drive, I'll just give you an example of how that is filled out. Hey, what's up, Matt? Welcome, buddy. All right, so we'll get right to it, and we will do Alabama will call. Red die will be their call. Blue die will be the actual result. It is even. Bama's going to receive, so they will get the ball first. And this will be, I'm not going to play a full game. I'll probably play a quarter. Just to show the new running back traits. So Bama is a 10 on offense and defense. They have a talent factor of 2, which will come into play anytime the 2d6 equal 5 or less. New Mexico, team offense of 5, team defense of 3. They're going to have a tough time stopping Alabama. So here we go. Eddie Wilbanks, welcome. And yeah, Tide should roll in this one. I would expect for as long as we play it to be pretty brutal for New Mexico. All right, so we're going to start with the kickoff. And New Mexico kicking off, they are a D, and Bama kickoff return, surprisingly, with the talent they have, is an E. So that's not going to be a big factor. Punt returns are a different story when New Mexico has to punt, but kickoffs, not so much. All right, so let's roll our kickoff. All right, 0 for New Mexico kicking off. And again, New Mexico on the kickoff is a D. So a 0 is going to push back. Alabama is going to take the ball on the 25, and we'll get going from there. All right, so the first thing, of course, we're going to do is roll our drive. Now, Bama with a 10 offense, in New Mexico a 3 defense is a +7. So Bama's not going to be spending a lot of time punting today, and obviously you would expect that I would roll a punt, but I did not. This is going to be an in-play drive, so roll of 19, and it's going to be 4 plays for 29 yards to start the drive, which will put Bama at their own 49. So what you do there is starting position 25, 4 plays, 29 yards, and then the result for when the drive concludes. And then from this point, for the play-by-play section, I'll just document yards. You know, Harris, if he carries 3 times, 5 yards, 7 yards, et cetera, slashes for attempts and completes for Mac Jones. Yards, I do not worry about filling in while I play because I will pull them later from their individual receivers. So that's how that works. All right, so Bama, see how quickly they can slice and dice New Mexico's defense here. And Ducati 916 SPS. You know what? Lobos in our last test game of this actually upset Army, so you have reason to rejoice there. I do not know how much this game will mirror that. All right, here we go. I'm going to let the dice call the plays for me. So Bama is a balanced offense, and we'll be looking here. 1st and 10, 0 to 5 will be a run. 6 is going to be a short pass. And again, talent factor is going to come into play, so that's automatically going to come off the 3 column. Short pass and a roll of 1 is an 11-yard gain. And 7 is going to be to Mechie. So right out of the gate, Mac Jones comes out slinging, and it is going to be a 1st down to the New Mexico 40, 1st and 10. As Jones starts 1 for 1. Here we go, and it's going to be a run call to Harris, and no talent factor coming into play this time. However, New Mexico, with the good run defense, it's going to be a -3 for the Tide and Najee Harris. So New Mexico stacking the box, and a roll of 0 is going to be a stuff. So New Mexico bringing the heat. This might be their highlight of the game. We come down here to the stuff chart, and 1 is going to be a -1 yard run for Najee Harris. So that sets it to 2nd down and 11 from the New Mexico 41. And here, balanced offense, we're going to have a pass on 4 or better, and this is going to be a long pass. Mac Jones is done playing around. Talent factor kicks in with a total of 3 on the 2D6. So it's going to be a +3 on the long pass, roll of 7, and that is a 17-yard gain, and that is going to go to Billingsley. So Billingsley, 17-yard gain for Mac Jones, and that will be a 1st down for the Tide. 17 down to the 30, 26. 25. Okay, 1st and 10 from the 25 going in. And here we go. We're going to be another play to Najee Harris, and Bama not getting the run game going very well to start this one off. Fortunately, New Mexico, it's going to be a -1 to Najee Harris. And -1, roll of 5. That's going to be a 4-yard gain for Harris. Second down and 6. So that gets it down to the 21-yard line. Second down and 6, balanced offense, and we're looking at the same run pass probability. It's going to be another run play. Talent factor kicks in, and Harris is finally going to get into the secondary a little bit. It's going to be a 5-yard gain for Najee. So Bama is looking at a 3rd and 1 from the 16-yard line, and this will be, again, the defensive. If it is a run play, New Mexico will get a +1 star, as this is an expected run situation. This will indeed be a run, and a 0-0. This is going to be a -1, and 19, the ball carrier here is going to be not Najee Harris, but it's going to be McClellan as well, or instead, I should say, sorry. All right, so -1, McClellan, and a roll of 3. And that is going to be a 2-yard gain, so just enough to get the first down and keep the drive alive for Alabama. Puts it down to the 14, 1st and 10. Jones brings up the Tide. New Mexico looking to dig in here. And we're going to have yet another run play. And 3 is going to be 2 stars on the trench check, and a 2 for New Mexico. It's going to be 2 stars, so an even run, and 13. So we're going to get to see possibly our adjustment come into play. And, of course, it's Robinson Jr. who has no adjustment, so it's going to come straight off the 0 column. And roll of 6, going to be a 4-yard gain for Robinson. All right, down to the 10, and second down and 6. So New Mexico putting up a little bit of resistance here. And that's going to be a short pass, Mac Jones, and Mac Jones on the short pass. Be 1 star. New Mexico playing some tough defense. It's going to be -1 for Mac Jones. And 4 on the short pass. That's going to be an incomplete and a possible sack. 14 is above the sack range. So for Bama, their sack rating is 1 to 6 on the 1D20. New Mexico has an adjustment of -3. They do not pressure the quarterback very well, but that's going to be an incomplete pass and set up a 3rd and 6. Can the Lobos stop Alabama? We shall see. 3s and possible penalty. That's going to be a defensive penalty on the roll of 20. We will go to our penalty chart. And that is going to be on the defense an offsides call. So let's first see what the play result would be. It would be 6 on 3rd and 4. There's going to be a short pass, and a 9. 3 and 3 for Bama. That is going to be a +2. So 9 on a +2 short pass, and that would be a big play. So I think Bama is going to take the result of this, and the recipient of the catch is going to be 9. So short pass, that will be Mechie again. And rolling on the big play chart for the Tide. And again, this is big play 1 chart on the pass, roll of 2, and that's easily going to be a touchdown. So a 14-yard touchdown strike. I'm sorry, actually a 10-yard touchdown strike to Mechie. And the Tide have the first score of the game as Mac Jones, 3 for 4 on that drive, and will come in for the extra point now. And Bama is going to be automatic on that, so extra point is good, and they take a 7 lead. All right, we'll see if New Mexico can do anything now. And here comes the kickoff. Bama again is a D. So 10-yard strike. Jones to Mechie puts the Crimson Tide up 7-0. And New Mexico has a kickoff return of C on the kickoff. Even at that rating, though, Bama's going to punch that in the end zone touchback. So New Mexico comes out, starts on their 25. Here's where it gets tricky for the Lobos. New Mexico, with an offense of 5, is going to be rolling -5 on the drive chart. So you can see -5, 0 to 52 is going to be a punt, and 47, New Mexico is going to have to punt it away. All right, so 1 and 1 on the punt chart is going to be a 5-yard drive for 22 yards. So the Lobos get a little bit of something, but they're going to have to punt. That punt will come from their own 47. And punting, this is where Bama's good. They are an A on punt returns. New Mexico on punting is a C. All right, New Mexico set to punt, and 8, that's going to be a 40-yard punt. That's going to go down to the 13-yard line for the Tide, and the return, and 9 on the punt return for Bama, and an A. And we're going to go to the team, a big play chart for the punt return. So big play chart down here, punt return. Bama does have a TD on a 9. Can we get some excitement? Just missed it. Just missed it. So that's going to be a 12-yard punt return for the Tide. And that's going to put them on the 25 to start again. So we'll roll for their drive now. We'll do one more drive each team and call it a stream. I just wanted to introduce that new attribute for the individual running backs. So Bama, once again, is going to have a successful drive, a potential score. 31 on that, and a roll of 11 on the drive chart is going to be 5 plays for 32 yards for the Tide to start things off. So that's going to put them starting off at the New Mexico 43-yard line, and our situation on a 6. Situational die on a 6, and New Mexico's defense, again, is horrific. They are a 3. So it's going to be a 2nd down and 4 to start this drive. And Mac Jones brings the Tide up. Looking over the defense, and it's going to be a run play to Harris. Talent, or not to Harris, talent factor kicking in. It's going to actually be to Williams. So this is going to come off the 3 column, and a roll of 3. It's going to be a 5-yard gain for Williams. So that is going to be enough for a 1st down. And punches it down to the New Mexico 38. 1st and 10. Jones brings the team up. Going to be a short pass play and doubles, no penalty though. So we are going to have a 0 result, no stars for each on offense and defense. So short pass roll of 7 for Jones on the 0 column. It's going to be an 8-yard gain, and that completion will go to Harris, Najee Harris, out of the backfield. So 8-yard gain, going to set up a 2nd and 2 for the Tide. And that gets it down to the 30. Jones comes up. Going to be a run play. And again, the ball carrier is Williams, getting some action in early in this one. So going to be a 1 star on the run and 1 star on 2 stars on the run defense. So a -1. -1 roll of 5 for Williams. And that is going to be a 4-yard gain. So that's going to punch it down to the 26, 1st down and 10 for the Tide. Looking to march New Mexico easily again. 1st and 10 is going to be a short pass, and this time New Mexico, it's going to be a -2 result. 2 stars on defense, no stars on offense. So -2 short pass, roll of 8, and that is still going to be a 12-yard gain. Mac Jones with an extremely high completion percentage, and that's going to go to Devontae Smith. His first catch of the game goes for 12. So Tide is rolling as they get down to the 14-yard line, 1st and 10. And we're going to have a run play. Ball carrier on this one is going to be Robinson Jr. So Harris not really getting involved in this game very much early on. And this is going to be a +1 result, roll of 8. And that's going to be a 4-yard gain for Robinson. So 2nd down and 6 from the 10. And going to be another run play. And once again, Harris will not touch the ball. It's going to be Robinson. So 2 and a 4 run for Bama is going to be 2 stars there. And New Mexico, 1 star, a +1 for Robinson, roll of 2. And that's going to be yet another 4-yard gain. So going to be 3rd down and 2 at the 6-yard line. We'll see if Najee Harris comes in to run this. Here we go. Jones brings the team up, and going to be another run and 10. Finally, Najee Harris will get the ball. And we're going to have a single star against no star. So +1, Najee Harris, roll of 9. That's going to be a 5-yard gain. And that goes all the way down to the 1-yard line. 1st and goal. All right, 6 and 4 going to be another run play. So Bama very much content to grind it to the Lobos here in this one. And this is going to be a -1 result, and ball carrier is going to be Sanders. So 4 on a -1. New Mexico has gotten some good rolls on defense, but that's not going to be enough to keep Sanders out as he barrels in for a 1-yard touchdown. So Bama goes up 14-0. Extra point, of course, automatic. Hey, what is up, my friend Robert? We're having a Bama New Mexico beatdown, and I'm going to do, I'll actually play the first quarter. So there'll be 2 more drives in the first quarter, 1 by New Mexico, 1 for Bama. And first we will do the kickoff. And Bama, kickoff of D, roll of 4 is going to go down to the goal line. New Mexico on the return is a C. And a 9, and we're going to go to the New Mexico team big play chart. So New Mexico does not really have anything super special on the kickoff returns. 2, that's only going to be a 10-yard gain. So that's going to be horrible. New Mexico is going to start their second drive from their own 10. And let's see if they can get something going. 74, look at New Mexico. They actually, Bama must be having some backups in, as New Mexico, despite being -5, is actually going to get a successful drive going here. And drive play, that's going to be 4 plays for 30 yards. So New Mexico up to their own 40-yard line where they're going to start this drive. And the situation against a 10 defense, 7 on the 2D6, is going to be 1st and 10. So let's see how the Lobos can do now, see if they can get something going. And guys, if you have questions, leave them in the chat. And if you are liking what you're seeing so far of this testing, please hit that thumbs up button for me, the like button. As New Mexico comes up, New Mexico is a lean run offense. So they're going to come out and actually try a short pass to get this drive going. And not going to go very well for them. That's going to be a 0 against a 3 on the pass defense. So short pass, -3, roll of 5, and that's going to be incomplete. So Hall for the Lobos errant on that throw, 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10, lean run. Once again, we are going to have a short pass attempt. And again, New Mexico, not very proficient there. It's going to be a total of -2. So a roll of 6 on the -2 column, short pass, and that's going to be another incomplete by Hall. So 3rd down and 10. And if we get a long pass here, Bama will get a bonus star. All right, and that's exactly what we're going to get. New Mexico, though, +2 stars there. Bama is going to be 3, so that's going to be a total of -2 with that additional star. Again, that's the zoned-in defensive adjustment for the down and distance situation. All right, so -2 and a roll of 1 on the long pass chart. Can New Mexico pull something out? No, it's going to be a 3rd straight incomplete pass for Hall and the Lobos. So they're going to get something going and immediately stall at their own 40-yard line. They're going to have to punt, and Bama will get 1 to wrap up the first quarter. And we will call this a stream. Things going pretty much as one would expect these two teams to, the result when these two teams would meet. All right, New Mexico punting is a C, and of course, Bama is a on the punt return. So C and a roll of 1, that's going to be a 38-yard punt. So that's going to land down at the 12-yard line for Bama. And roll of 2 on the return, A on the punt return, and that is going to be actually a fair catch. So Bama First and 10 at their 12, where they start this drive. And we will roll for the simulated portion of the drive. 27, and for Bama, that is going to be, of course, good enough to get a sustained drive going, and that's going to be 3 plays for 32 yards. So that gets them up to their own 44, and our situation 7 is going to be a 1st and 10. So Mac Jones will look to lead them on their 3rd straight scoring drive here in the first quarter. And it's going to be a short pass attempt and 3 stars against 1. So that's going to be a +2 attempt, and the recipient of this catch is going to be Devontae Smith, if he catches it. 4 +2, that's going to be an 11-yard gain to Smith. So Mac Jones in play-by-play mode at this point is 6 for 7 so far, as it remains that. Right there, sorry. All right, 1st and 10 from the New Mexico 45. And Jones, balanced offense. Again, it's going to be a short pass attempt. And 3 stars on the pass attempt against no stars on the defense. So we have a +3 roll of 1. And that's going to be yet another 11-yard gain. And this one is going to go to Forrestal. So down to the 34, and the Tide moving effortlessly through this Lobo defense. All right, we're going to have yet another short pass call. This time, though, Alabama's only going to have a single star, and New Mexico is going to call it even. So 0 on the short pass, 0 column, and a roll of 9. That's going to be another 11-yard gain, and this one goes to Williams. So his first catch of the game, and Mac Jones continues to shred the New Mexico defense down to the 23 now. See if he takes a shot here. Nope, I'm going to go back to the ground. So running play, it's going to be a 2 stars for Bama against 3 stars, so a -1. And Harris is going to be the ball carrier here. -1, roll of 9. And that's only going to be a 2-yard gain. So Najee Harris, in play-by-play mode, has 5 carries thus far for only 15 yards. So New Mexico doing a pretty good job of shutting him down. 2-yard gain there, 2nd down and 8. And with a balanced offense, 4 or more will be a pass here. And Jones is finally going to air it out and go deep with it. This will be 2 stars against 2 stars, so even. And long pass, a roll of 6. And that is going to be a potential sack. 13 is above the sack range. So that will be a 17-yard gain. And recipient there is going to be Mechie. So Mechie with his 3rd catch of the day. 17 yards. And that is going to put from the 21 down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal for the Tide. All right, so Bama looking to punch in their 3rd TD of the game as the first quarter comes to an end. It's going to be a short pass play, and this is going to be a +3 result, short pass play to Devontae Smith. And 4 is going to be a touchdown. Jones to Smith on the quick slant, 4 yards, and 2nd touchdown pass of the day for Mac Jones, who is also 10 for 11 in play-by-play mode thus far. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. Alabama up 21-0. And yeah, Eddie, this is going to, after the 2021 season is when this game will release. I didn't really want to do anything with 2020 teams just because it was such a cluster of a season, and everything was in such disarray. So 2021 will be the first season released, and then I'll go back and do some prior seasons after that. Hopefully get a couple out. The set releases with Glory Days Boxing will slow down a little bit. I'm about halfway done with the flyweight set. After that, I'm going to focus on this for a while and do some free stuff for Glory Days Boxing. And then after the football game releases, I'll do another supplemental set for Glory Days Boxing, and then work on three more teams for the football game. So that's kind of a long-term plan there, and when the game will be released. So that's going to do it. A quarter of play, Bama up 21-0 against New Mexico. And let's see what time it is. You know what? We'll start the second quarter and do a drive for New Mexico. Then we'll call it a stream. All right, kickoff. That's going to be a touchback. Lobos are going to start their third drive on the 24 or 25-yard line. See if they can catch lightning in the bottle again. 0-52, they're going to have to punt. And, of course, this is going to be another punt situation. So 13 there. That's going to be a 3-and-out, folks. 3 plays, 5 yards, and punt for New Mexico. They just, unfortunately, are not very good. Well, they're playing Alabama, too. All right, so punt is going to take place from their own 30. And 9, and again, punter is a C, and this is going to be a potential block, 40-yard punt. New Mexico, however, does not have any blocked kicks, so they're going to get that off okay. And that's going to come down at the Bama 30. And back to return that, Devontae Smith, A on the punt return, 7, and that's going to be yet another fair catch for Bama. So Bama's first drive of the second quarter is going to start on their own 30. Can New Mexico get them to punt? Holy crap, +7, 12, and Bama's going to have to punt. So New Mexico finally decides to get in the game, play a little defense. It's going to be a 5-yard or 5-play drive for 19 yards. So they will punt from the 49. Maybe we'll just play till halftime. All right, so punting from the 49. And Bama, something they don't do much. They are a D punting, and New Mexico on the punt return is also a D. So D on the punting and roll of 8. That's going to be shanked that off the side of his foot, a 28-yard punt. Hold on, 69. 77, sorry, I got stuck on my math a little bit. That's going to come down on the 23-yard line for New Mexico, and punt return on a D. That's going to be a fair catch. So New Mexico is going to start their drive on their own 23. Let's see if they can avoid punting again. And 88 at a -5, and that's going to be a potential fumble. New Mexico's fumble rating. Yikes. So first of all, we in this situation with turnovers, first you get the yardage. So 5. So they go 3 plays and 24 yards, and then they have a potential fumble. If they get the fumble, they will keep the ball and continue the drive. So fumble is going to take place at their own 47, and New Mexico's fumble rating is 1-4, so they dodge that bullet. But Bama +2 on the defense, and they're going to get a turnover. So New Mexico fumbles the ball. Bama's going to take it over at the Lobo 47, 1st and 10. And we are definitely going to be able to play till halftime here. Let's see how they do on their drive result, though. 99, we do not have the rare event chart done yet. 85, so 85 for Bama, and again, they're a +7, and they're going to have a potential fumble as well. So teams trading turnovers now. That's going to be 2 plays for 26 yards. So that's going to go down to the New Mexico 21-yard line, and Bama 8. Bama's fumble rating. They are a 1-10, and New Mexico is a -1. So New Mexico is going to get a takeaway themselves and snatch that ball right back from the Crimson Tide. And New Mexico is going to have the final drive. They're actually going to hold Bama out of the end zone here in the second quarter, believe it or not. Bama getting a little sloppy. Nick Saban will not be happy at halftime with that result. New Mexico, unfortunately, though, is going to have to punt again. Shocker there. And that is going to be a 5-play, 14-yard drive. So they take over at their own 21, get to the 35, and they will punt it away. We will do the punt return, and then it will be halftime. All right, so New Mexico punting, and again, punting, they are a C. Roll of 7, that's going to be a 36-yard punt. So that's down to the Bama 29-yard line where the return will take place. And 7 on the punt return A, and that is going to be another fair catch. So that's going to be the first half. So New Mexico put up a little bit of a fuss in the first and the second quarter. And our score at halftime, Alabama 21 and New Mexico 0. And D. Scott Howard, welcome. I miss guys joining the chat. Eddie Wilbanks. So is there going to be an unusual play chart? Yeah, for the throwing shoot. There will be. That 99 normally would have gone to the event chart, and the event chart is going to have a plethora of things from weather effects, rare plays, trick plays, all that kind of stuff will be on the event and rare event chart. So yes, not all that will be included. Don't know if throwing a shoe will make it, but there will be some unusual stuff on there. And our good friend Utah Mike, Sports Time Machine, yikes, like a doctor saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," in his first words coming out to talk to you. So, and I couldn't find your channel initially, Mike, but I'll resub to that right now. Glad you got that back up and running, guys. Hey, Mike he lost his channel, so had to relaunch it. So if you were subbing before, have not subbed to him, give Sports Time Machine a sub, please. He's got some good baseball stuff on there. So that's going to be it. Just another half of Glory Days College Football. And we'll do the second half of this probably tomorrow. I might finish tonight, but I have some other things to do. But again, I wanted to recap the individual runner adjustments, which come into play whenever a run result is obtained from the 0 column to impact good and above average or below average running backs. And of course, we talked about the redistributed run play. So it's going to be it. Hey, thanks for checking it out, guys. Again, hit that like button on the way out if you don't mind. And this game, again, will be releasing after the 2021 college football season, after all the bowl games are done. And some other teams that we'll have on the channel for test results upcoming. Clemson, Northwestern, BYU, Army. BYU, Army I'm going to play because they actually had a game scheduled in 2020, and Army had to actually, I think it was BYU had a COVID issue, and they had to cancel that. So those test games will be upcoming. Hope you all have a great night. Thanks for checking it out. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Take care, and we'll see y'all later.